a lesson and what it is meant for.
It will really help us to improve in our educational stuff.
On behalf of the Lagos State students, I'm saying a very big thank you to all, and most especially the Managing Director and CEO of First Bank for the great investment in ensuring that we all engage in online lesson due to this pandemic.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Anto Lecky, and I am super excited to talk about making the cyber world a kinder place, especially as someone who has had some not so kind experiences on the cyberspace. I'm very excited about this conversation today. And we also have some of my personal faves who will also be sharing their online experiences. But of course, I firstly want to thank First Bank for even having this webinar at all. About 4 years ago, in fact, First Bank started the initiative called Spark, which is Stop Performing Random Acts of Kindness to instill kindness, generosity, and empathy around the world. You know, especially now because so many of us are using social media, we communicate more virtually than we even do face-to-face. It's extremely important to instill and cultivate a positive online space. But for some reason, it's like anytime we, log online, we see more bad news and hate being spread instead of positivity. So First Bank is the first in everything, and they're making sure that we are spreading positivity. So this week happens to be their Corporate Responsibility and Sustainability Week, and the theme of 2021 happens to be kindness, a way of living. So how they started this week was by actually having a groundbreaking ceremony where they opened the grounds for a primary healthcare center in Alimosho in Lagos State. They also were able to impact over 50 families across 24 cities in Nigeria, especially since we're talking about kindness and we know kindness is best to start from the young age. There was actually a webinar that spoke about the role and importance of kindness. And today being Friday, we are wrapping up this week talking about making the cyber world a kinder place. I think all of us, even if it hasn't affected us directly, we've seen some negativity and some not so kind things online. So I think it's extremely important that we have this kind of conversation. So before we, get into the nitty gritty and we talk to some of our favorite celebrities about their online experiences, we will actually have our DMD of First Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Benga Shobo, to give us a little bit of the importance of Spark and why we all need to be kind. So we're ready for you.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to welcome you to this webinar on behalf of the management and staff of First Bank of Nigeria Limited. The theme, making the cyber world a kinder place, couldn't have come at a better time than this, as we now tend to meet more people on the internet than in the physical. The world has indeed become a global village. While this is a blessing, there's some attendant negative consequences, which include ability of masked individuals to hide under anonymity and create cyberbullying. The internet enables the faceless evils capable of causing mental breakdown and other gruesome harms to victims. A 2018 Pew Research study found that a majority of teens, about 59% actually, experienced some form of cyberbullying. A more comprehensive study in 2020, however, shows that this is not unique to teens, with around 2/3 of adults under 30 having experienced online harassment and 50% identifying politics as the reason behind the incident. The most common specific types of cyberbullying include offensive name calling, spreading false rumors under the guise of going viral to chase clout, receiving unsolicited X-rated images, etc. This results in long-standing damages in the victim, such as loss of self-esteem, self-worth, depression, suicide attempts, and unfortunately, a continuous cycle of bullying. At First Bank, we promote the ethos of empathy and as a way of achieving healthy cohesion among people of all races, ages, color, and creed, irrespective of where the interaction takes place, online or physical. By so doing, we aim at ensuring a sustainable world for everyone to live in. We agree with the anonymous saying that kindness makes you the most beautiful person in the world, no matter what you look like. Therefore, this webinar has been carefully planned with kindness as the key proposition of Spark, which means start performing acts of random kindness. And it's targeted at youth and the millennials, and as they have a vibrant capacity of advancing the cause. We are privileged to hold a roundtable talk facilitated by the following youth-centric celebrities: Inse Ikpe Etim, I hope I got your name right, Nancy Sime, Dinola Gray, and Debo Adedayo, also known as Mr. Macaroni. Each of them will share their experience with respect to being victims of people being unkind using social media platforms and how they have handled this and reciprocated in kindness. They will also offer suggestions on how to make the cyber world a kinder place. Lady Gaga said, and I quote, "I've been searching for ways to heal myself, and I've found the kindness is the best way." I therefore enjoy all participants to glean from the experiences shared during this webinar and seek to adopt kindness as a tool for healing the cyberspace and ridding of all associated ills. We can begin from our little circle and create ripples that will affect the whole world. Beyond the ongoing First Bank's Corporate Responsibility and Sustainability Week, we advocate for everyone to imbibe kindness as a way of life. At First Bank, we'll continue to demonstrate our passion for ensuring a haven in our global communities. Once again, I welcome you all to this webinar and enjoin you to actively participate so that together we can have rich discourse. Thank you, and please remember to show kindness to someone today. Have a nice webinar.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words. And again, like he said, we are starting to perform acts of random kindness. And just before we start talking to our amazing celebrities, I want you guys to be as involved as possible. Even though we'll try to keep the questions until the end, I'll definitely read some of your comments and questions. And, you know, we do have a couple of giveaways for people who like to come on time. So you may not know, but the first 5 of you that joined in today will actually receive recharge cards. So please continue to be involved throughout the entire webinar. We'll have different questions and different chances for different people to be able to win some, recharge cards and some goodies throughout the webinar. So we shall begin. So we'll go ahead and start talking to our amazing 4 Nigerian celebrities who are very active on the social media space and online. And I have personally seen some of the ways they've combated some of the trolls. So I'll definitely love to get more in depth into their experiences. So again, we have with us Debo Adedayo, aka Mr. Macaroni, an actor and a content creator. And we might say that he was also an activist of sorts. We also have Danola Gray, who is a fashion consultant and actor and a content creator. We have Inse Ikpe Etim, the amazing actress, and Nancy Isime, my sister girl, an actress and media personality. How are we all doing this afternoon, this fun Friday? Let's get in there.
We're good, so good. I'm happy to be here.
Let's get in there. So before I start talking to, great. So before we start talking, I do want to ask the audience one question that they should answer in their Q&A section. So guys, please answer this question. I want you all to answer the question, how are you really? Everyone always asks us, how are you? And we say, I'm fine. I did. It's all right. It's going. I want you to really answer the question, how are you really? That's the first step in us trying to actually foster kindness by actually caring about the question, both the question and the response. So please go ahead and let me know, how are you guys doing really? So my first guest and my first questions will go to Denola today. Woohoo!
Hey, I was like not expecting that. Okay.
Put you on the spot.
I know.
So Denola, I know personally you happen to be very social online. You say your mind, You tell it how it is, then you really don't care. So how do you really navigate the online space? Do you wake up and say, today I'm only going to be online for 2 hours? Do you prepare that people may disagree with your comments? How do you kind of prepare yourself for using, social media in the online world?
I mean, I would say like, and I guess this could also be true for some of my fellow panelists as well. I mean, it may not be, but I never think people care about what I'm about to say because I don't think of myself as a public figure. I'm just like, just in my house, just kind of like just doing my thing. And I'm like, oh, I have a thought. I'm just going to tweet it. Like I was doing when I was in college or like when I was younger, like just before I started working, in the industry. So I never really think that things are going to get, as much attention as it does. So when it does, I am always like surprised, like, oh, people actually care about what I say. So over the past, I'll say maybe year or 2 years, I mean, I've had a couple of public snafus on Twitter. I kind of just, there's a saying that I go by and I go through: if you don't know them personally, try not to take it personally, So I've made it very clear that the only opinions that I care about are the people that actually know me and the ones of my family and friends that I actually care about and know. I've, teasing and bullying is something that I've dealt with my entire life. So you could say I've developed like thick skin to it over a few years. Now, it's one thing when one or two people are teasing or bullying you. It's another thing when it's like 1,000 people that are just trying to be trolls and are, just kind of being haters. So while my resolve might be stronger, sometimes it's a bit like, all right, time to log off. So if there's any like public Twitter dragging happening, I just honestly, I just log out of my Twitter because if I don't see it, I don't get upset. I've muted notifications on my Instagram and things like that because I have to remind myself that isn't a real depiction of life. Because some of these things that people are saying online, they can't say it to my face. They just can't say it to my face. And because you go out in public and people are so nice to you, and like, so who are the ones that are, being trolls? So when people ask me, how do you deal with haters? I'm like, what haters? And they're like, that I'm like, exactly. I don't know. I just don't think about them. Yeah. Focus on the love and the positivity instead. I think it's more productive.
Yes, I agree. Focusing on the love and positivity. So in general, for someone who doesn't have the thick skin like you have, how would you advise them to be able to deal with negativity and, unkindness on the, online space?
I think, again, it will be just realizing that, people are really brave behind keyboards. And a lot of the time, what they're saying about you and your life, if you're not being problematic, because sometimes, I mean, I'm not saying that any kind of bullying is warranted or any kind of like online or verbal violence is warranted. But if you're not being problematic and you're minding your business and people are just like being awful to you and commenting on your body, because that's happened to me. Like I just post things and I'm just like being happy-go-lucky. People are talking about how skinny I am or, how effeminate I might be or just like things like that. I would say, again, if you don't know them personally, try not to take it personally. And also, you have to understand that for someone to get on their keyboards and actively attack you for no reason, imagine the pain they must be in. And, it's really just putting it in perspective, like, whatever they're saying to you is really not about you and it's a projection of their own inner turmoil. And when you know that, it's a bit freeing and you're kind of like, you know what, like, sucks to be you. I'm so sorry that you're in a lot of pain, but I'm just not going to participate in this exchange. Now, don't get me wrong. Once in a while, if you come for my family or anything, I'm going to get back on that keyboard and use some, well-worded, grammar to drag you. But I would say don't engage. It's an energy exchange. And if you're not participating in that energy exchange, when people are ignored, they look stupid. And, you're like rising above, living your life. And you're like, wow, somebody's commenting on you living your life while you're living your life. Who's the one that's losing? Not you, So I'm trying to take it personally. If you can limit screen time, if there's some recurring things that you don't want to see, there are options on Twitter and Instagram to mute conversations or limit to who can respond to things or you can filter some words from being commented on your Instagram page and have those controls in place. And if you don't want to check your phone incessantly, I would say put up notifications. That significantly reduces the amount of time that you spend on those apps if it's causing you, some turmoil. So yeah, that would be my advice. But most importantly, you're fine. The people that have mean things to say are just terrible, and it's okay,
Absolutely. Yes, I want to follow up on the fact when you did say the energy exchange. So there are some times where you find yourself wanting to respond, right?
Of course.
Sometimes you find yourself wanting to respond. So typically when you do, I think it's important for us to talk about how you feel when you do respond. I think that'll give people an insight onto why there's no point in responding. Most times you feel worse. So I would love you to kind of give more insight on how have you ever felt when you did respond, and do you think you should have just responded with kindness instead?
The thing is, I never actually go back to drag somebody and be like, oh, if you call me stupid or say something about me, and I'm like, oh, well, you're stupid, look at your profile picture, you're ugly. I don't do that. I just feel like it's counterproductive, but I will put you in your place. You're not going to get on your keyboard and with poorly written grammar to insult me. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. But sometimes I found that when people say something rude to a public figure generally, all they want is acknowledgement. So if you say something to me and I respond to you, they're like, oh my God, this person responded to me. And I found that most of the time they were like, oh, Oga, boss, I'm just joking. I know I'm a big fan. I'm like, which fan is gonna, insult me? Mm-hmm. So I'll say a lot of the time it's for acknowledgement. I don't, and then I'm like, man, I shouldn't have responded because now I'm just giving this person the satisfaction of my attention, and other times when I do put you in your place and say you will not speak to me that way on my internet or comment on, on things that you know nothing about, I don't feel any kind of way because I don't insult them as well. So I kind of, and the thing is I have very loyal fans and followers that back me up on that, and they're like, yeah, don't say that, that's not cool. And I always end my little rants with saying, this is a positives page. We do not accept bigotry, hatred, or bullying of any kind. I always say that kindness is always what I preach, and positivity. So yeah. So sometimes I do kind of go, especially when I get those, oh boss, I'm a fan, I was just joking. I'm like, I should have just ignored you, But other times, it's kind of like something just needs to be said because people think that because you're a public figure, you're not a person or you don't have emotions or feelings about things. And they have to know that it's just not okay. So it's a little lesson in grace and just good manners, honestly.
Mm-hmm. So since you have had some times where you were down a bit, some of these, even though we know, they say sticks and stones can break my bones, but words would never hurt me. Words sometimes do hurt. They sometimes do. 100%. So how do you kind of, how do you lift yourself up when you have those moments where you kind of feel a bit down? What do you do to get out of the funk or, to get back to your normal self?
I talk to my friends about it. My friends are very supportive. I've also told them to not send me things. So if an Insta blog is posting something salacious about me or people are giving me a good Twitter dragging or whatever, and I log out, I tell my friends, no matter what you see, first of all, don't engage with people on my behalf. Don't fuel the fire. Don't send them to me because I don't need to see that. Why do I need to see somebody calling me everything else but the child of God, for an hour straight? It's just not productive. I talk about it. And then I think in those moments, I choose to be gentler with myself and just be like, what they're saying about you is not your truth. You know your truth. And I just have to cling on to that. And I meditate and I journal. But mostly I just put my phone down for hours and I go watch something funny and I eat popcorn and I talk to my friends, maybe have a cocktail and, just live life. The best revenge for a troll is for you to just live your life and be happy while doing so, but words do hurt, especially when they pick on some certain insecurities that you might have. So you have to remind yourself that, this thing that they're saying, even though it might be an insecurity to you that they're picking on, it's not your truth and it's not your reality if you don't choose it to be. So you just have to be extra gentle with yourself in those periods. And if you have therapy, you can talk about it in therapy. But if you have friends who act as your therapist, you can absolutely vent to them. And hopefully you have supportive friends that will meet you with love and empathy.
Yeah, I agree totally. I think it's key, like you said, that it's important to have people around you who are spreading kindness. If you're the only one spreading kindness and not receiving it back,
it's like, come on.
Yes,
Exactly.
like, who's on my side? So definitely spreading kindness and having people around to also spread kindness is key,
Exactly.
especially for myself. I was on a reality show, so I
I
faced all
mean,
sorts of
y'all, in fact, I don't even want to get into that. You guys went
yeah,
through it.
things that I could never have even imagined about myself. Like it's me that you guys are talking about. So for me, I know for sure that what helped me get through it is having great friends and family members, and even the fans that were positive. Like I tried to focus on those. For some reason, as human
Exactly.
beings, sometimes we focus so much on the negative. There's always those negative comments that we see, and we just burn up. But it's really key to look at the good ones, look at the hearts and the smileys and all the positive things that people are saying to us. It really can
100,
help us go,
100%.
help us go a long way. So just in general, what is the importance of kindness, not only in the cyber world, but also in general? I think, especially if you're living in Nigeria, we're seeing all sorts of non-kindness every single day. So what truly, like the true importance of kindness from young, from old, between our parents, between our relationships, between professionally? I think even professionally, we don't really talk
Yeah.
about kindness enough, So I
I
think,
mean,
what do you think about kindness?
I think it's actually who we inherently are. Just generally, I don't think anybody is born and just chooses to be like chaotic, there's a lot of factors that happen to us in our upbringing and in our environment, that, cause us to be a bit more hostile. And typically, internal storms become external storms, So I would say that, and so in order to understand kindness, you have to understand where the opposite of that comes from. We cannot admit that, Nigeria is a very colorful country and it has a lot of interesting challenges. I'm trying to be very kind here with that as well. But I understand that there's a lot of frustration and people they need outlets to take that out. So I use the crab analogy. If you have a basket full of crabs, right? And one of them is a crab trying to get out. The other crabs that can't get out try to pull down that crab because misery loves company, right? And that's what happens a lot of the time. Love is the best thing we do as humans. I'm not just talking about romantic love. Love means respect for yourself and for your fellow man or woman. And kindness is a byproduct of that. If there's an inner calm in yourself and there's, generally like a proclivity to see the beauty in the world and to not be a crab, you want to spread that and just live in that space and do things that just make the world a bit less dark or feel a bit less dark, because for everything, there's also the opposite. So for the darkness that there is, there's also a lot of light. We just choose the right beast to feed, and kindness is the right beast to feed. Like it does nothing or takes nothing from you to be polite, say a please and thank yous, to ask somebody how they're doing and actually mean it. To ask somebody and to just be friendly. Nobody is saying that you should be like a saint and you should, be magnanimous and give away all your riches, and that's the extreme. But being kind just means looking at another person and understanding that we're all going through the same human condition of just being alive, and none of us are making it out of this alive generally. So how about we just kind of make it easier for each other along this journey? That's what kindness is to me.
Great, I totally agree with you. So Nancy, you're up next. What does kindness mean to you?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Kindness to me is, kindness is everything. I feel like it's the essence of everyone as human beings. Without kindness, we won't even be here. Kindness is the reason why a lot of us are here. I don't know why now my phone would not stay. It was perfect before. Now it's like, oh, you're talking now? All right, there we go. So kindness to me is everything. It's the foundation for everything I do, both work, both personal, and everything entirely. It's such an important word to me. Yes, an attribute.
Great. So personally, I feel like everyone loves you. I don't think anyone hates Nancy C, man, you know? So, but exactly. So have you actually been cyberbullied, and how did you, overcome that situation?
I mean, it happens every time, once in a while, someone would just be like, you know what, this comment section is too lovey-dovey. Let me throw in some spice. And when they throw in some spice, I throw them into the blocked list. Simple. I never even they waste time. I just say, oh, there you are. Chick, chick. Blocked, never existed. Everyone's back to being happy. My comments is back to being what it should be. And I think for me, it's so intentional. I'm very intentional about my page. I'm very intentional about my life. I feel like I have to create a certain template, because it's my page, okay? You don't come and dictate how it's going to be run here. I tell you how it happens here. And that's what people do. People come and they say, and that's why I don't understand people that say, oh no, leave the comments, let them be making noise. I'm like, making noise where? Don't they have page? Go there and go and make noise there. But if you come here, you're gonna understand that it's okay for everybody to love. It's okay for and people still be factful, be truthful. When everybody's just here saying one thing, no, and if you don't have anything good to say, there's no need to actually say anything. Just walk up past, Even in the DMs, I've realized a lot of people, when they can't get your attention, they come to your DMs, and maybe after trying for a while, they get frustrated and then they start to send horrible things. And I never, ever think about it twice, because I know that it's coming from somewhere in here. And Daniela mentioned something like that, the same people have, it's a turmoil in here that you're going through in your life, because I've done the personal practical, like I've tried. Whenever I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I come on Instagram and I see people happy, I'm just like, so it takes it takes extra effort for me to say, no, Nancy, no. Now this is your log off, darling. Log off for me, darling. Now go back and fix it. Let's meditate. Let's calm down. Let's work out. Let's read the Bible, read good books, do affirmations. Good. Now we're back online. And honestly, when I feel good, everything just looks different. I'm like, you bought a new car? Yes. You got this new contract? Yes.
Exactly.
So it's a personal project for me. So when I see people do these things, I'm just like, I hope you'll be fine someday. But in the meantime, block list you go. Watch yourself while you're in the block list, and they come back later and say, oh, Nancy, unblock me, or go through somebody's page to say, unblock my friend. No. No, you, your friend, and the people who liked their comments and agreed are going down into the block list.
Exactly.
It's so much fun. I love those cyberspace. It's cool.
Me too. So Nancy said something very important about being intentional when it comes to how you use social media, and also be intentional with how kind of and to others. So instead, I have a question for you now. You were gracious enough to share with us your fertility issues. So I would love to know, how were you intentional about giving us that information? Because we didn't need to know. You blessed us with, knowing about that. So how are you intentional in deciding when and how you wanted to tell your personal story?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. You don't have to listen to me, but thank you for listening. Hi. Right. Hi, Anton. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Good. You look gorgeous. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Denola. Hi, Deba. Hi, everybody else. Right. Let's see. Yes, I think our culture first would define my speaking as not right. But from where I was standing, if I didn't speak up, I would never help another. And that for me was kindness. Putting my vulnerability on the line and speaking to so many other women who had fertility issues and who couldn't deal with them. Nancy's one person who's spoken to me about it a lot. And I just thought, because I had been through it already, I think 5 years before I spoke about it, and I still hadn't healed. I wanted to quit working. I wanted to quit acting. I just wanted to just be home and be with the dog and my partner and not bother about Nollywood or the film industry, as it were. But my family would not let me stay because they thought it was messing with my head, as it was. And my management team thought it wasn't worth it. I had to come back. And I thought if I didn't speak, we all thought if I didn't speak, my healing wouldn't be complete and I'll still get people talk about it. But it didn't stop them, Anton. It didn't stop them. People still come up and pass really hurtful comments. It's okay to call me ugly, but how do you call me barren to my face? It's so unkind. And they do it without thinking. I remember someone, I had to Google because I couldn't remember what he said. And there's no Twitter, so I couldn't find the comment. I had to Google. So someone said, he said, I can't remember. He said, why did you sell out your womb? And why are you being fruitful? Why are you not being fruitful to souls? You need to make yourself fruitful and replenish. I had just meditated in the morning. And I never actually opened up an email before 12. I never check social media before noon. I do me. I never go. But I don't know why I did. And I did. The shock, it was like he was stabbing. And I thought, I didn't sell it. So here I was talking to myself. I didn't do these things. I didn't. And I thought, I'm not going to let this one go. I'm going to reply. I think I just reply 3 a year and teach them that it's okay to be kind. I do, actually. I do. I mean, hey. So I replied and I said to him, dear Joy Vampire, because I think they are joy vampires. I said, dear Joy Vampire, may you be fruitful in common sense. I wasn't being nasty. I said, may you be replenished in kindness and may your soul never know adversity. I was actually praying for him and being kind because I had known adversity and he had used it against me. But then it doesn't change how I feel to it. He came back to say he was sorry, and which is what Danola was speaking about. How do you throw such hurtful things? And then you come back and you say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Then how did you mean it? It just doesn't make any sense. And they keep doing it over. I think people just decide once a year, they'll throw something about being childless at me. And it actually does shock me. Because, okay, I brought out the story. Would you stay away? Would you, okay, stop looking for the date that I would finally have a child. I've said to you, I can't. Would you let it be? No, they'll still come back. There's always going to be that one person who comes up. And it's unfortunate because as a keyboard warrior, I want to understand what goes on in their own lives. It must be projection. So we must be kind enough to understand that they are not exactly happy. And as Danola said earlier on, misery does love company. They want to pull you into it. And my space is zen. I literally cannot have you bring negative energy towards me because all I really want is to live and let live and love and be loved. Not necessarily be loved by you. I know where I get love from, and it's enough. Do you see what I mean? And so when you speak about kindness and how kindness is and what it is, some people say it's being generous, it's being this, it's being that, it's showing empathy. I think it's a movement. I think kindness is a movement. Because if someone's kind to you and you pay it forward, you're creating something. So I'm kind to Anton, Anton's kind to Nancy, Nancy's kind to Danola. So we now have a circle of kind people. Then it starts to spread out like tentacles. So if we're able to be intentional, like Nancy has said, and even if you don't receive kindness, just be kind. Someone's going to pay it forward. So for me, that's what it is. I think kindness is a movement. Really.
I absolutely agree, guys. Everyone else is agreeing. I'm seeing the comment section. Everyone too believes that kindness is a movement. So Debo, you're definitely a moving guy. You're all about the movement. So I kind of want to switch it just a little bit away from your personal endeavors, but maybe a little bit more about us as entertainers and the entertainment industry. Especially you as a comedian. We love your content. But do you ever feel like you have to be intentional about the kindness, or if you are including kindness in your content?
Yeah, because hi everyone, you're doing well. Okay, so I was saying, yes, I think we need to be intentional about kindness because that is the only way that the world can go round. I always say that it's not money that makes the world go round, it is love, So if I love you and I treat you with respect, I do not want to do anything to hurt you. When you receive that love, and you see how good it is to be treated with love, you want to radiate that positivity. You want to radiate it and show it onto someone else. So, but when majorly, when people have been abused, too much with a lot of unkindness and negativity, they are quick to radiate that negativity and spread the tentacles of their wickedness. But when they receive a little more love, then they will be doing well. You understand? So I think yes, it is good to be intentional about kindness. You cannot give what you do not have. You understand? So it takes people that understand the concept of love to understand that everyone just needs to be treated with as much love and respect as possible so that we all can live in a happy world.
Absolutely, I totally agree. So when it comes to you, when you have a bad day or you are personally not feeling so kind, how do you get out of that bad space?
I don't know how it is with me that I never feel unkind. Even when people have been mean to me, when people have been wicked to me, and when people have shown me a lot of hatred, I don't know how to reciprocate such. Over here is all love, is all love, and that has to do with how I was brought up, and understanding when at least when I start to get sense, in secondary school, then my senior prefect, Jonathan Dangana, said that a life worth living is a life lived for others. So that's been my mantra. That is what I've always stood for. So I don't know how to when you are wicked to me, and I don't know how, so that's why I just do like, Whiskey, that's one style. I think a lot of people should learn something from Whiskey. Whiskey will not even answer you. He won't say anything. Which I feel.
I think we just lost Dave. But like he said, I see all of you saying that his mode of kindness is to ask for account details. So I'll make sure I send him my first bank account details. So he should be kind to me too. He should be kind to me too. And since we are starting to perform acts of random kindness, we have another giveaway, guys. So fastest fingers have 2 questions for you. So make sure you answer both questions in your same answer. The first question is, let us know what the acronym SPARK stands for. That should be easy. I think you guys should have that one. And also, what is the theme of this year's First Bank CR&S Week? So go ahead. I'm looking for some answers. First 5, you guys will get some, a nice little credits or recharge card. So I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. I know I totally am. This is great. I think a lot of times we don't get to really hear people's stories. We don't really get to know what people are going through. So I think this is a great platform for us to really know how we as human beings can be kinder to each other. I think kindness it's critical. It's more than important. So I'm back to Denola. You know, so the question will be, I think most of us believe that the angriest people, especially in this Nigeria, happen to be on Twitter. Okay, I think most of us are not there anymore. So let's just put it like that.
Yeah, because
So
we're not allowed to use Twitter.
exactly. So hopefully we can only hope that that is an attempt at spreading more kindness. But when it comes to that specific platform, how do you think in general we all can participate in being kinder using that platform?
See, I've always found Twitter fascinating. I've been using the app since I was, 18 or 19? Is that when it started? I don't know. I always think that we were never supposed to have this much access to other people's thoughts. It's always a snapshot of like what someone is thinking or ranting about.
Mhm.
And it can be toxic if you accumulate too much information that you really have no business accumulating. Twitter is a different breed. It is, because if about the same issue, you go on Twitter and you see everyone having an opinion about it, and it's just so much vitriol and anger and aggression. And then about the same issue on Instagram is more la-di-da-di-da. So they always say that on Instagram, people are just like living a fake life, and Twitter
Exactly.
are the realest ones. On Twitter, people would do anything to have retweets and likes. They want to have the wittiest, funniest comeback. They may not even mean what they're saying, but to them, an insult is funny because if it's clever wordplay or something that hits the nail on the head, everyone's going to love it, and they even make it a catchphrase. That gives them a little bit of celebrity that they're so craving. Don't be so desperate to trend or to be viral that you lose your soul in the process. Like, it's just not worth it. It is also cool. You can be funny without being, I was about to swear. I don't think I'm allowed to swear on the webinar. You can be funny without being just rude. You can be funny without, cussing at people. You can be funny without, insulting someone. And if you don't know how to be funny without insulting someone, then maybe humor isn't for you. Leave it to people like Debo, who actually know what they're doing, So I would say, in order to be kinder, no one is saying don't crack a joke or be sarcastic. If you can be sarcastic and crack a joke with your friend, but even at that, you have to put a disclaimer. There's common etiquette in which, because you know the kind of platform you're on, you don't throw people that you know under the bus for a quick retweet. Because I mean, what's the point? Where's the loyalty there? So on Twitter, it's very simple. Things that you should not speak about, in my own opinion. Don't talk about people's families. Don't talk about people's bodies. Don't talk about people's personal lives, okay? And just essentially mind your business. Now, the things that are up for public discourse, like politics, and the things that are put in our faces, like music and movies and things like that, you can critique something without tearing it down or without tearing the people involved in it down. Like, I just had a movie come out, it came out earlier this year. Debo, you were in the movie DOD. It came out in January, and just recently got released on Netflix. So far, all the reviews have been great. People loved it. They loved Olumide's performance and my performance. That's Olumide Oru. And I was like, and as actors, as everyone's here, and Nancy, I'm sure you can agree with this. And I don't know if you can agree with me on this one, because I mean, you guys are such veterans of what you do. We're sensitive about our performances. We always think that we could have done something better. We could have been, bolder. And, so any little criticism like that could either make or break someone's desire to keep on doing that thing, because we're already so sensitive about it. But if you have done something, you've put in blood, sweat, and tears into it, and then, you're going to have bad reviews. That's fine. You can say, oh, maybe the movie didn't make any sense or whatever. But if you go online and then somebody is saying, oh my goodness, I didn't know, like, we cannot act to save his life. Like, get him off my screen. What's a trash actor? What's the point of that? You can say, didn't enjoy the movie that great. The acting wasn't what I thought it would be, and keep it moving. You don't have to dig into someone so my point is, you can critique without insulting. You can critique without being rude. You can critique without being disparaging. If you do not know how to do that, then that's more of a personal problem that you need to address, as opposed to, us, not being too sensitive or whatever. Because if you take pride in your work, no matter what it is, be an accountant, be a banker, be a doctor, if you take pride in your work and someone says that you are trash at what you do, even that same person that has been a keyboard warrior, they will hate it too. If someone says, even as a keyboard warrior, if somebody says you don't know how to type or you don't know how to spell, as a keyboard warrior, so you would take it personally. So you can critique without being rude or insulting somebody else. And so I'll say that mind your business for the most part, but the things that you're commenting about and critiquing, you can do it without, I think there's a phrase that says, rudeness from humor is the lowest form of wit. Like like what are you doing? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, thank you so much. And I want to remind you guys, you're supposed to be answered in the Q&A section. So please, the first 5 that go to the Q&A section. So I'm going to go ahead and ask instead a question to follow up on what Denola said about being a thespian, about being a professional. You want to hear positive comments. So how would you advise someone that wants to make a negative comment? How would you advise them to say it in a more kind way?
Can you go over that again, please?
Sure. So then I was speaking about the fact that when you're professional, that, sometimes you expect, some negative and some criticism. So how would you advise someone that wants to say something negative to say it in a more kind way?
Must he say something? It's the question. Sometimes our work is really funny because we put in so much work and we don't necessarily have the right conditions to work. And so when you find someone just throw it out there, oh, you can't act to save your life. Why don't you try it? Why are you telling me? You could, if you want to effect change, why don't you start with yourself? Do you see what I mean? We just get in front of the TV, bear our vulnerabilities, or rather in front of the camera, rather, bear our vulnerabilities, as it were, in front of a million other people who are there. And we bring out what we think it might be perfect. I don't think life is perfect, but it is what we have. So we expect that if you don't like it, you can tell me why, but don't insult me. Don't insult my person. Don't insult my journey, because I'm learning. I learn every day. And I think the day that a human being stops learning, he's probably dead. So why do you think that your comment is going to make me a better actor? Certainly not. It's not going to change anything. It will only make me hurt. But I think, Denola, and I'm going to say this, when people talk about your work, that's their business, really. It has absolutely nothing to do with who you are as an actor, who you are as a creative. What they do is try to put you down because they want you to feel how they feel naturally, and they're at the bottom. And because they're there, they're lonely. And they want you there with them. So I don't, when it comes to my work, because I put in so much, I don't think the other person who's passing a comment even knows how much I put in. So I really don't care for nasty comments that come to my work or for my work or when they come for me. What I care about is constructive criticism. I doubt myself already, and I don't think that you making me doubt myself anymore is going to change it. I don't think I'm good enough. So you telling me that I'm not good enough is not going to change how I feel. So when they come, I think if you've got to say something to someone, and I think Nancy and I have worked together, not maybe twice, I think now. And I remember the first time we were working, and I could have said, oh, no, I don't think this is work. No, you don't sound that way. Oh, shit. I'm so sorry. That's my door. I am so sorry.
Really happen.
Can I mute this? 1 second.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Since we're talking about Nancy, and Nancy, since we're speaking about starting to perform acts of random kindness, what would you tell to everyone that is on this webinar? And I'll outside in the world, how can we start performing acts of random kindness?
You can start performing acts of, random acts of kindness by the littlest way. Saying good morning to someone, saying how are you, engaging. For me, especially being in the public eye and being someone a lot of people consider famous, I've learned, and I've also been very intentional about my fame, because luckily, Anto, I know you guys you just came into the world and it's like, oh, everybody knows me. Shit, where do I go from here? I hope I didn't go. But I kind of like grew through it. So through every phase, I had to say, okay, now, you went into the supermarket, 2 people recognized you and they came to take pictures. How did you make them feel about themselves? And that's one thing I ask myself every time, how I make other people feel. Now, don't get me wrong, and don't get us wrong. Kindness is not stupidity. Kindness does not mean doormat. So there must be a boundary. So, if I'm on my own and you come and be nasty to me, I would try my best to be kind to you. Depends. Sometimes I might be like, hoo, gotcha. We're on the same frequency today. But majority of the time, one thing that I just always, like I was saying, is just trying to know, okay, how did I make this person feel? I always want people to feel good around me, when someone comes for a picture, no matter how I feel, I just try to keep the picture. And so if I'm going to advise everyone else, is find ways to just make someone feel good about themselves. It's that tiny. Just find a way to make someone feel good. Find a way to make the next man smile. Hi, good morning. How are you doing today? Great, you look good. I love what you're wearing. It's so cool. Oh my gosh, what perfume is that? Little, and then make eye contact, and smile a lot. I realize smiling just makes people already feel drawn to you, so, but please be kind with like a huge boundary, because kindness can also sometimes be very draining when there are no boundaries to it, so be kind, but understand when somebody's coming for trouble and either run the other way, because I'll gladly be called a coward. If you're coming with your trouble, I'm like, oh, close my door quickly, or I'm like, back at you, and I close my door still. Always close my door because not today, Satan. But if you really want to be a kind person, it's so easy. How do you make the next man feel? Basically, just ask yourself every day when you're doing a review. I do a kind of meditation every day at the end of every day, which is basically reviewing my day. And in that meditation, I'm asking myself, what random act of kindness did I do today? How did I make the next person feel? Who did I make smile in the smallest way? And making someone smile is not really about money. So I'm sure people will say, yeah, make me smile by sending something to my Aza. No. It really is just every tiny little thing, even if you can't give the next person money, I'm sure you can also make them just feel good at that moment. And it just kind of goes the other way because you're teaching them. And that's why I'm so passionate about children, because I feel like they're the easiest people to instill kindness into, because they can outgrow and see, when I was younger, this auntie showed me so much kindness. I felt so good. And so I'm going to also be kind as an adult. And I remember when I was growing up, whenever I greet some people, it's so random, but I'm going to tell you. Whenever I greet some people, they were so kind to me. Hi, darling. Hi, sweetie. And I can remember just being so happy as I'm going home, like, oh, be my love, my sweet. And I vowed to myself that when I finally become auntie, I'm going to be so kind to children. I'm going to call, hi, my darling. Hi, my sweetheart. And I'm going to tell them all the kindest things because I just know what it feels like for them. So whoever did that for me when I was younger helped me pay this forward. They don't know. They just did their good mornings and they bounced. But they don't know that I'm 29 now, and it still sticks inside my head. I still feel the need to call kids darling, because I feel like when they grow older, they remember that this auntie called me this and it felt so good. And so I'm going to do it. And that's why I encourage parents, I encourage guardians. If you really want to change the world, some adults are cast in their ways. Leave them. Children, be kind to children, and eventually the world will be a better place to live in. Yeah,
absolutely agree with you. And I know you mentioned something about meditating, and I realized, I think 3 people have said it, and I realized I don't meditate. So I've added a new step to ensuring that kindness is a way of living for me. So Debo, how can we ensure that kindness is a way of life? Let us know, what can we be doing to make sure ourselves we're more kind?
I think is what Nancy has just said, and is what every other person has contributed one way or the other. It's about making kindness a culture, a way of life. You understand? And that has to do, and that's why I say it comes naturally to some people, and then some other people need to be intentional about it. And I also mentioned earlier that it depends on the kind of energy that you have also received, the kind of energy that you have accumulated over time. Now, look at what Nancy said. Nancy said when she was young, and then the way one auntie will make her smile and all of that, and look at how it has shaped her into the amazing woman that she is today. So I think that culture, just smiling at someone, just, there are some people, you see them, the way they look, you know that there's something wrong. Or because in Nigeria we did, in fact, some people they say, oh boy, no, ask. Once you ask, say, what's wrong with you now? With that. They will say, you better don't ask what is wrong with anybody. You go your own way so that the person go carry in cross, So, but and that's the function of our environment, a toxic society, So is pretty much understanding love and understanding that, like I said earlier, only love can make the world go round. So for those that are not natural about it, for those that it doesn't come to naturally, we have to be intentional about it. You understand? And knowing fully well that kindness is what will help that person that you say is stealing from some people, that person that you say is committing one offense or the other. When people are kind, when people are filled with love, crime will reduce, a lot of evil and bad things will reduce, simply because we are kind and we do not want to hurt other people.
Absolutely, I totally agree. So I think we've all heard some recurrent words like kindness, intentional, and now Debo has given us culture. So I'm not a parent and I don't really have too many younger ones, but for everyone that's here, that you do have some younger ones, I think Nancy has told us that it's very key that if we can start being kind to children, those children more than likely grow up to continue to be kind to adults. Like Debo said, it's something about our culture, especially in Nigeria. We tend to, day out day, we tend to just be where we are and in our own spaces. But if we're
We lost Anto. Can somebody take over?
Are you there?
Is Anto there?
No. I was wondering that because the first
Who
time.
am I speaking with?
This is Debo.
Oh, hi, Debo. How are you? All right. So we're
I'm
speaking about
fine.
kindness. But
Yeah.
Nancy's a better host, though, because I'm just here and all I think about is food. But all right, Nancy, can you take this over?
Of
I'm
course,
loud.
I'd
No.
love to.
Can I
So
finish?
we're talking
Yes.
about, and I just absolutely love it. And I remember, and say before your dog went knocking, you were saying something about set life. So please let's go back to that.
because
Okay,
because you
yes.
mentioned your name.
As in,
It's all right. I mean, okay, so you see, Nancy and I were to work together in a scene, and I was listening, I was feeding off her, and I was watching, and I thought, we need more chemistry together for this to show. I could have said to the director, I'm sorry, I can't work. And nothing would happen. But I said to her, we can make this work. There's something, we spoke about it. We went through it together. We worked as a unit. When it came out, everyone was screaming, oh my God, Nancy, am I lying? Can you hear me, Nancy?
Not lying. I'm here. You're not.
Are you? Yes. So I'm saying it just, and I think that's what formed our bond together. We became just more than colleagues. We mightn't speak every day, but it's not malicious. It's kind. Our relationship is lovely. And I'm not going to say this out in the open, but Nancy made an offer to me years ago, and I had to tell, it broke me. And because of that offer, I can't believe anybody would ever make such an offer. But I will never say it here. Because you said it's between you and I. No, trust me, it was the most selfless offer in the world. If you think through it, you would know. And I do not say this. I do not say this. I do not take it kindly. I do not say this like just lightheartedly. It meant so much to me, and I'm truly thankful for what you said. So thank you, Nancy. Then back again to, but
I don't make my makeup. Thank you.
Who told you to wear makeup? Welcome back, Anto.
Thank you. The network just did its own thing.
Yes, but thank you.
Thank you so much,
welcome,
Nancy. I never told you thank you.
It's all right. You're welcome.
You're not doing it right now.
So, okay, I was about to finish. I think I'm almost done. But then again, I think that if you love yourself and you're kind to yourself, then you can give what you have. Because most times people just do the things because they don't have that which we seek. We want someone to be kind to us. They don't have it. So how do we teach them? By being kind ourselves, then they can mirror us. Because it's funny, Nancy spoke about kids, and she thinks the adults cannot be redeemed. I think there's still a few that would want to mirror what you've done. So for those, like Debo said, for those who are not inherently kind, they can learn and be intentional about being kind towards other people. I know people throw out, how are you? But they don't mean it. But how are you is a really powerful question. When someone says, how are you? And you reply, not so shabby. And I say, okay. Now you've stopped there. And I said, really? Why not? Did you sleep well? Now I've opened up another avenue for them to speak to me. But like Debo said, in Nigeria, once you ask, it's, the world, my rent, we just want to know how you're doing. I mean, hey, we can face the problems later, but you can say fine or not fine. We can talk, so it's very weird how we can be kind in such a toxic and unkind and hostile environment. It's because you're in that environment, you don't see yourself. So we need to detach ourselves, even though we are in it, and know that this is kindness. So we'll operate from kindness so that we can spread it. No matter how little, it will trickle down towards different people, even your God. The man who's there at the gate, you come in. Some people walk through and don't even pay them no mind. That's a guy who mans the gate. You need to be kind to them. You need to smile at them. How are you? How was your day? How's your family? They do have family. We never care about those little things. And that's what makes people a lot more intentional about the energy they put out, is because you have given off positive energy. So it travels. And so your vibration is different. And so you would dwell in a vortex that's completely glowing and not dark.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Sorry.
Something Issa said that was very, very, very key is when she spoke about how you answer the question, how are you? That's why I asked that question in the beginning. I learned this year that myself, I'm not so kind when I answered that question. And I didn't think so. I thought saying I'm fine is cool. But one of my friends actually told me that when he asked me that question, he expects me to answer it, like continue so the conversation can keep going. So to him, I thought I was being kind by responding, by not giving him what he, as my friend, wanted to be kind to me and wants to really know what is going on. So I've now learned that there are truly some people in life who truly do care. So you just, like we've been saying, it's a balancing act. I won't say that I just paid my rent yesterday. I know how much I paid, so I won't tell him that. But I will just say, life can be better. Just have be more kind to him and just discuss more. Because a lot of times when someone says, how are you? Sometimes you don't respond. You don't say it back either. You kind of just say, I'm good, and you continue. So, but it is very good to reciprocate. If someone asks you, how are you, you should also ask them. So I learned that this year. Hope you guys have now learned that as well. So
I always say thank you for asking. I actually tell you thank you for even asking, because you don't have to ask. So thank you for asking, and yourself. And then he replies or she replies, and then they feel better with themselves. You feel better that you've been kind. I don't know. It's a journey.
Totally agree. And since we've been talking about being kind in the cyberspace, something I've started doing this year, especially as a public figure, I realize people, for some reason, hold so much value in our opinion. I don't really know. So I take at least like 5 minutes every day to just randomly like and comment on people's pictures, people that are not even my friends, people that I don't even follow. Like I just go and I just say, oh, this is beautiful, or this outfit is nice. Like I just do it very randomly. And I just always see people screenshot and put it in their story, like, oh my gosh, Ansel liked my picture. So I realized that just boosts their morale, especially online. We have so much negativity, so much not working right. So I try my little bit to just say, be kind to a random stranger that I probably would never see in real life, but I hope I've made their day just a little bit better. So I would love for you guys to also, in the Q&A section, let us know other ways that we can start performing acts of random kindness online. So let's go ahead and get about 1 or 2 minutes of that. Then we'll read. And if you guys have a specific question, any of the panelists, or just a question to throw out to everyone, please put it in the Q&A section, and we'll try and be a little bit more interactive for everybody. I'm not sure if people can join us. Maybe someone should just let me know if people can join. I don't know.
Can you hear me, Anto? Can I say
yes,
something?
Yes. Sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
I saw a comment where someone was like, what if, I'm being kind and my kindness is being trampled upon,
Sure.
And that's why I mentioned boundaries. You must have boundaries, and boundaries aren't just for other people, they're also for yourself. So you must tell yourself that this is who I am. What other people do will never ever come in between that. This is just me. I'm a kind person. I'm thoughtful. I am nice. You might not be, but that's you. So if I'm kind to you and you're unkind to me, all you need to do is just know that, okay, interaction with this person don't end. When I see this person for Sokoto, I go there, Abuja. So I'll give this person distance just because I know that this person is a certain way. But it should never, ever change your acts of kindness, because this world is made up of energies. Absolutely. And whatever out is going to come back to you. So you must always remember that is whatever energy you put out there that comes back to you in different ways, in form of your career, in forms of your friendship, your way of living. Kindness has never ever, it might be trampled upon by another human being, which is fine, but it's never ever not been repaid somehow. Maybe not now, maybe later, and you just sleep better at night if you're into peace. Because me, I'm so big on peace. I live for peace. peaceful life. When I close my eyes to sleep, because I'm always working. And when it's time to sleep, I really want to be able to sleep. I don't want to be thinking about somebody, what somebody has done. I also want to be able to freely sleep and freely wake up and freely walk into a room, but then again, boundaries. Also create boundaries for yourself. Whenever you're unkind to yourself, tell yourself no, put yourself on timeout or something and say until you're kind, go back and apologize, this will not be all right. So I just feel like always remember, for whoever you are, if it's about you, it's about you. Don't worry about what the other person is doing. And please feel free to not want to associate with somebody because they always make you feel down. They always bring you down and they always make you feel a certain way. Feel free. I don't think it's malicious. It's just you protecting your peace. And that's what I live for. Yeah, sorry. I had to quickly say that.
Absolutely. No, I agree. And I think I should ask they were the same question or a follow-up to that. How do you think people should, since you've said that you're always kind, and I'm still going to send you my account details. Since you how do you think people should make sure they maintain kindness and protect their peace? Like you said, if you do not have kindness, you cannot share kindness. So how can people maintain their peace and try to always be kind?
Just for context, I always try to be kind. So sometimes maybe I might not be kind. Maybe according to some people, I say that guy is not kind, he's not nice or well, but I always try to be kind. And that's how I think people can always be kind. That is, always try to be the better person. So in everything you do, every step you want to take, before you think about yourself, it seems tough, it seems hard, but before you think about yourself, think about the next person. When you are addressing certain issues and when you're talking in a room, your words, words are very powerful. So you want to say something, you want to address someone, you don't need to insult people, you don't need to talk down on people before you make your points. The easiest way out will be to communicate, say what you want to say without tearing other people down. So for me, what I always try to do is I always think about the other person first before I think about myself. I never want to hurt anyone. I never want anyone to feel bad on my account. So to make that work, I'm always very quick. When I want to say something, when I want to do something, I think about the person that action of mine, that singular action or deed, or spoken words, what that action would do, what impact it will have negatively on the person before I take it. So I'm very careful. And I think with that in your mind, knowing that before you take any action, you are thinking about the other person and how it will affect the other person, I think we would learn to do better. Are you there?
Absolutely, I totally agree. Kindness, yes.
Can I
Since we're
quickly
talking
say
about
something, please?
Sure.
Okay, so thank you, Deva. So right, for kindness, I think that people should reflect on kindness as it is and ask certain questions to themselves. When you think of what kindness means, what words come to mind? So you have to ask yourself those questions. What was your last act of kindness, and how did it make you feel? What was the can you think of at least one act of kindness that you have completed? You didn't start, or you started and you finished. How did you make someone else feel? How did it make you feel is always a thing, because sometimes I realize that because we are also selfish as human beings, if it's going to make you feel good, be kind. Do you see what I mean? If it makes you feel really good, why not be kind? Because it will make you feel good, and that's being selfish. And being selfish is being kind to yourself because you're taking care of number one. So you can give off those things. And what would happen if you committed to being kind to someone every day, even if it was one person? Which is why I think Spark is important, because it's random. So you decide one person.
Sure.
Because like Nancy said, she sent, oh, like you said actually, Anto, that you comment on people's pages. I send voice notes. I ask random, I just pick up people randomly. I'd never even speak, and I just send, how are you? I'm sending you love and light, sending you hugs, sending you this. And they go, oh my God. And I send a voice note. You see, so just be intentional, be kind, really. That's it for me, really. That's what I wanted to say. Ask yourself questions about kindness.
Great, I love it. So we do have a couple of questions. So the first question we have is, the majority of the people in Nigeria are living under $1 per day. How do we expect them to be kind when they have so much to worry about in their minds, head, and life? So who wants to answer that one? Denola, you look like you might have an answer for me.
Okay.
Well, I mean, obviously we have to be aware of it is true. Nigeria is a very hard place to live in. I mean, you spend a lot more time just trying to get by than actually enjoying your life. So the frustration there is understandable. And of course, that's would make some people a bit more prickly, is the word I would use. I know, I'm really trying so hard not to cuss. But it makes people a bit more prickly, and it's kind of like, I think sometimes when people lash out or do certain things, it's kind of like, look at my pain, acknowledge my pain, I'm in pain. Two things can be true. You can be in pain and be a bit more magnanimous and understanding and empathic, as opposed to just being an a-hole. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. So I would say, think about what it is that you are doing. I think when we lash out and say certain things, we're not in our body. Everyone here has said that they all meditate in numerous different ways. Meditation really is mindfulness, mindfulness is really, really key. When we do certain things on autopilot and we just kind of lash out, we're not in our body at that point. And there's nothing glamorous about not being in your body, especially as you get older. It's entirely up to you to have agency over yourself. And if you can't control your tongue or your fingers on a keyboard, or just spewing some vitriol, then you have a problem. Now, the problem could be because you are going through financial woes or issues at home. Whatever the issue is, it's valid, but you yourself invalidate it when you now take that and use that as an excuse to be an awful person. How do you expect people to have empathy for you when you don't have empathy for another person or yourself? So I would say, think about what it is that you're doing at all times. Yes, I'm going through something really tough right now. Yes, my life is not easy. Yes, this person's life looks easy. I get that a lot. There's been, even as recently as yesterday, somebody was talking about how I've never had to work hard a day in my life because my life looks so easy. You've never seen the emails, I guess, of all the rejections. You haven't had to work twice as hard as most other men in Hollywood to get to where they are because people don't take you seriously. You've never dealt with people calling you everything else but the child of God, but yet you think my life is easy because what? I wear shiny clothes and I take pictures. Always realize that the other person on the receiving end of whatever it is you're saying is a human being too. And just because problems are problems, heartbreak is heartbreak, and to take measures is unconscionable. So again, understanding that we're all going through the same human condition, no matter what it looks like. Because you can be rich and have poor health. You can be rich and have, relationship drama, or, you can be rich or you can be well off and have things that keep you up at night just as much as someone who is going through financial woes only. I'm not saying that is any less valid. Of course, it makes things, physically and tangibly more difficult for you. And there is empathy for that. And that's why people like Debo can say, I'm giving you money. If I had all the money in the world, I would do giveaways all the time on my Twitter. But if I give one person 100K today, 10 other people are going to come and say they want 100K, and that 100K is going to finish. But what is more intangible and lasts longer is how you make people feel. If you are a kind person in the middle of your struggle, someone will remember you because of how you made them feel and will remember you when the time is right. So don't block your blessings by taking a snapshot of your life and then using that as an excuse to be an awful person or to drag people down. It's just unnecessary, and you're shooting yourself in the foot. So yeah. And maybe the law of karma will even apply. If you're kind in the middle of the struggle, then maybe you get blessed. How about that? I don't know. So that's how I choose to see it. I mean, jokes aside, but like that's
so
how
everyone, feel
see
free to drop your questions in the Q&A box. We're going to go ahead and answer all the questions. So we have another question. How do we differentiate between being antisocial and being kind? So I guess the person is saying, if you're someone who you're extremely introverted, how do you deal with being online, dealing with comments? I think even us that we're online all the time, we don't really want to be there all the time. So maybe instead, how do you think someone can balance between being called antisocial, but when they actually want to be kind?
The person who's on the other end, who's actually introverted, doesn't see it as being antisocial. Do you see what I mean? So that's you're defining the fact that they just don't want to be online all the time. And they're probably protecting their mental health. I'm never online all the time. I don't have social media on all my devices. And that's protecting me, not because I don't like it, but because I also realize that there are other people out here in the world who I want to interact with, and not just be out there with people who I don't necessarily know. And I will be kind to if I come across, but I want to be kind to other people that I meet out here. So it's not, I think the question the question being asked is more because you define the fact that I don't want to be online all the time as antisocial. But how about you see it like this person is choosing to protect themselves, protect their mental health, so they will not be here all the time. And when they are there, they would offer kindness, and hope in return is what you give back. Do you see? So it's, you call it potato, I call it potato, but it's not being antisocial. Some people just don't like the space, and we can't make them like it. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. So we have another question, and this is something I always, battle with. When online and you see someone being negative towards someone else, not to yourself, but to someone else, do you feel like you're supposed to engage, correct the person? If you don't engage, is it that you're enabling unkindness, or what do you think? And I think everyone can answer this question. I think most people have this. Not everyone is cyberbullied, but we all see it.
Do you mind repeating the question?
The question is, when you see something online and someone else is receiving a negative comment, are you supposed to correct the person that gave the negative comment, even though it was not directed at you? And if you don't direct it, are you enabling an unkind social media space?
Can I go?
Sure.
So basically, I mean, I don't know, I'm a Leo, so I'm incredibly loyal. If I see any of my friends getting like just dragged for no reason, I'm gonna jump in and put you in your place, because nobody's coming for mine at all. Like I would, yeah, you're just not gonna do that on my watch. In the same breath, actually, it's actually funny that I bring this up, because last year, I remember when the musician Adele debuted her, she had recently lost a lot of weight, and she, I guess, put some pictures on Instagram, and then somebody in Nigeria, a man, of course, decided to say, oh, Adele doesn't look good skinny. She should remain chubby. We like her that way. What is this? And then I commented, stop commenting on people's bodies. Now, that was, the spirit of that is how I felt, because on the spectrum of even body positivity, as a 30-year-old man, I'm 5'10" and I'm very, very slim. It takes a lot for me to gain weight. So people have constantly told me to eat a burger. Oh, you look so much better if you work out. Oh my goodness, I can see your ribs. I'm like, I too possess a mirror. I can see it as well. Thank you. But then what then happened is somebody now went back 9 years ago, when I was 19 years old, to unearth some tweets that I made that were fatphobic. you know, and they were like, oh, is this you? Is this what you're saying? And then they were having a field day with it. And then I doubled down. I'm like, yeah, I said that when I was 19 years old. And that is not how I feel about it right now, because you know what? I've grown up since then. And body positivity is a huge thing I speak about. And so, yes, stop commenting on people's bodies. Sometimes people will want to use you sending up for somebody else and try to twist it to validate that, or to kind of like take the sense off of them. You must absolutely double down and be like, I said what I said then or now, and I still mean what I'm saying. You do not get to be rude to people because you want some RTs or some popularity. So yeah, I took the bullets, and I still maintain that like I do not support, you know, body or fat shaming. So yeah, you know what I mean? So I will jump in. Now, sometimes when I have a lot on my plate, I'm thinking about when the next lecture is going to come, I have to get ready for, you know, some role, or I'm just like bogged down by life. And I look at it like, man, my dear, it is well. And I get off to Twitter and I can't read a book, or I can't watch Netflix. I can't come and kill myself. But if you come after mine, I'm coming for you. Simple.
I'm the same. I am the same. So Debo, someone wants to know, how do they deal with kindness being taken for granted by a family member? What kind of advice would you give that person?
Yeah, sorry. I was asking. I said that person must be a prophet, because that question is about me. Me too. I need answers. So because it is very easy for people to take your kindness for granted. Very easy. And I happen to have, I'm in that space where people, you know, because people see that you're there, you care about them. I'm someone that you can't be moody around me. You know, you can't be moody around me. I'll come and meet you. Oh, brother, what happened? My sister, Alpha. People that work with me, nah, no. So because I mean, people that I see outside, we ask, are you okay? That kind of a thing. So when people know you are someone like that, you're caring like that, they want to take advantage of it. I see it, not like I don't see it. I see it, and then I've had experiences like that. So what I do is, you see, I don't block you. I won't block you. You know, I will tell you when I see it that you're taking advantage of my kindness, maybe generosity. Let me. I was going to make a comment on something Dinola said, and that was about you know, there are different ways to show kindness. It's not even just about money. As a matter of fact, if you are not naturally kind, if you have money, there's nothing you're going to use the money. You are not going to be giving the money up and down to people to show that you are kind. No. For me, it has to do with the intent. So there are some people that do not even have as much as other people think that they have, but it's just the intent. So some people genuinely want to do something, but they do not have the means, the capacity to do that thing. So it doesn't take away the nature of their kindness and their humanity. It's just that at that particular time, they just cannot offer that it is that you are asking. So you need to be straightforward, because Nancy also mentioned earlier that people can be quick to take if you do not create boundaries, they will suck you dry. So I'm talking about that guy who used to say your blood gone dry. That's what I'm saying. You know. So what I'm saying is that you need to create boundaries. That's how to put behaviors like that in check. So you let them know that, look, the one time that I'm doing this, I did this because I feel that I can be of assistance at this time. There are a lot of things that I am also working on. There are a lot of emotions. My wife is there, my sister is there, my friend is there, my own work is there. So you need to make these things clear. It's not from a place of hatred or from a place of arrogance. You're just letting people know that in as much as I try to be there for you, I try to be there for a lot of other people as well, and also for myself. So let us respect our friendship. That's how I'm saying how I address it. I'm always very clear. So do not let us take advantage or take for granted our kindness. Don't let it be that because of this I will be running away from you. Don't let us be running away from ourselves. So that once in a while we can always still call. So people should not let friendship and relationship like that become awkward. Because when I show you an act of kindness today, you come back tomorrow, next tomorrow, and then you now it's no longer being kind. It's just you saying, oh, let me just this person, so on your own part as the person, you need to be able to state those boundaries and stick by it. It's not a matter of, if you want to be emotional about everything, then you might never get anything done for yourself and for other people around you.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Since we're coming to the end of this amazing webinar on making the cyber world a kinder place, I'm going to throw this question out to each of the panelists. What can we all do to start performing acts of random kindness and making sure that kindness is a way of life? So Nancy, I'll start with you.
Thank you, Anto. What we can do is start by making the next person feel good about themselves. It's okay to go online and comment love on everybody. It's fine, because people who spread hate do not have a problem. They call it bluntness and being real. So you to be blunt and be real about your love. It's okay. If you love someone, let them know. If you like someone, let them know. You love what they're wearing, let them know. Don't just keep it inside. You've seen someone's film and you love their performance, let them know. Whether it's appreciated or not, it doesn't matter. Because whether you like it or not, even the celebrities you look up to other celebrities as well. And they sometimes I sneak into Oprah's DM, I'm like, that book was amazing, or that documentary was amazing. And I'm not expecting a reply. So when you do kindness, please do not expect it to be repaid. Not on earth, not in heaven. Do it because it is second nature. Because if you also are Christ-like, or if you want to bring religion into it, according to the prophets, they were all really kind people and they spread kindness. So if you really are Christ-like, I'm speaking for myself because I'm a Christian, Christ was kind. Everywhere he went, he was doing good. He was barely even fussing anything on anybody. He was just preaching kindness and helping everyone. So if you really are Christ-like, your second nature should just be kindness and love and positivity. And every room you come into should just light up, and it should be warmer. Leave the world a better place, no matter how small. Just little acts here and there, and just make everyone feel good.
I totally agree with you. So Denola, how can we make sure that kindness is a way of life?
It's pretty much, what, Nancy said, like Nike says, just do it, you just kind of have to just do it. I think I read somewhere that if you do something 24 times, it becomes a habit. Observe the kindness people you know and emulate them. Do that 24 times and you become a kind person. I think, one of my best friends in the whole world his name is Falabi. He lives in America. Watching him treat people in service just so kindly, it's not something that we do in Nigeria. So, when you go to a restaurant in Nigeria, or, there's people in service, maybe because customer service is a myth in Nigeria, we're snappy. We talk to people any kind of way. And it's interesting, but I watched him, first of all, so when I went to America, I was kind of like, I would please bring me this and that at a restaurant. And my friends would be like, General, you can't talk to people like that, because some of these people are in your school and they're your classmates. You kind of have to just treat people with respect. Taking it a step further, my friend Falabi, he would stop at every cashier, like we'll go to a Walmart or to like wherever, and he would talk to everyone and he'd be so nice and polite. It could be somebody that is just like frowning as they're, doing the checkout thing, and he'll say something so charming, or just even ask them how their day was, and I would instantly see their face like light up. And I was like, you know what? I want to be more like that, And they always say the people that you surround yourself with kind of dictates who you're going to be. From Falabi, I started surrounding myself with more kind people. And I'm very proud to say that, and this is from third-party reviews, that my dad is probably one of my biggest critics. He always comes and tells me that anytime any Nollywood actor comes into his studio either do ADR or something that they always say and talk about how incredibly kind I am. And I'm so proud of that. And I owe that to emulating my best friend Falabi. So you find people around you that have that light in them. I'm not, because we all have that light. We just are not turning our gaze towards it.
Yeah.
If it sparks something in you, you just kind of have to just like go with it and just be like, you know, this is who I want to be from now on. So do it 24 times and become a kind person. Yeah.
So guys, we learned 24 times, it becomes a habit. So instead, what can we do to start performing acts of random kindness and making sure that kindness is a way of life?
Like all the other panelists have said, it's practice. Practice, practice, practice. So if you wake up in the morning and you decide that while you're even driving, now this even goes beyond social media and being online, you're driving and someone's indicating they want to go left, you can't be so much in a hurry that you can't let them go past. You know, so these things would reduce road rage, just being kind, just knowing that we all can leave together. You want to go left, I'll let you go. But everyone else wants to go at the same time. So we get bottlenecks. We get all kinds of things. And the same things happen online. So I think it's practice, 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 like everyone else has said. And never think anyone is less than you are. No one made you better than the next man. Because that's humanity. If you see every other person as a human being, you should be kind to them because you love humanity. So it stems, like Deborah keeps hampering on love. It stems from love. And so you first love yourself so that you can give that which you have. And once you have enjoyed your love, you're going to spread it. And it will come in form of kindness. And then you would be able to walk past a guard and say, oh, hello, how are you? Or someone says, oh, your dress is really awful. Or you say, oh, thank you so much, but I actually like it. Imagine how the next person will feel. Oh, I actually like that. Yes, that's what I like. Exactly. Because they're not being kind. And you say, oh, but I really do like it. At that point, you'll be shocked. Oh, okay. I'll say, no be my business. Right? So just enjoy your love. Have your love so you can spread it. And yeah, I think that's what it is really. Because if that's
enjoy your love so you can spread it.
Yes.
I agree. So Debo, how can we make sure that the cyberspace that so many of us spend so much time on and many of us make our money on, how can we make sure we make it a kinder place so we can stay there?
Yeah, I mean, always be the better person. That's how it can work. Always be the better person, because whether you like it or not, you would find people throw negativity at you. So while we're working towards making sure that nobody is vile enough to want to throw negativity your way, you be the better person. So when that negativity comes your way, know that you are better than that negativity. Always try to be the better person. So because when you intentionally try to be the better person, you're showing a lot of love, more than some people even deserve. So, but then it is a mystery, and they keep wondering, how is this person so kind and so nice? It is because, like I keep saying, and I'm still saying, it is only love that can make the world go round. So when you try to be the better person in your heart, you're showing love, and you're showing this person that, look, I don't want to hurt you because I love you as my brother, as my sister, as someone that I do not even know. I just want you to know that this world can be a better person by virtue of how we treat one another. So always try to be the better person.
Absolutely. Debo has told us to always try to be the better person. So I'll be the better person and apologize for being a little bit unkind by allowing this webinar to extend past the time. But I do think this was an insightful conversation that I don't think any of us want to end, but I think we all want to go on with our Fridays. So I would like to, of course, thank the amazing panelists that I had. I think you've shared some insight that all of us can take back Of course, I want to thank First Bank for allowing me to host this, and of course, so reminding us the importance of making sure that kindness is a way of life. So I charge everyone that is, listening to this webinar. So today, as soon as you get off, the first step of kindness is to tell someone how amazing this webinar was. Of course, open First Bank account and make sure you enjoy your weekends. But of course, make sure that kindness is a way of life and ensure that you are starting to perform acts of random kindness. I wish everyone a great evening, a great weekend. Let's all be kind.
Anto, you did a fabulous job. Well
Thank you so much, guys.
So good.
So
thank
amazing.
you.
So
Thank you.
amazing.
Let's all hang out.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
You all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
great
Thank you.
evening.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a lovely
Love you
evening.
all.
Yeah, love you all.
As part of the Spark initiative for First
Go
Bank,
off now.
members of staff of compliance department came together and we selected Gbaja Community Secondary School to donate books in demonstration of our commitment to start showing random acts of kindness to people in our community. This just goes to show how First Bank is caring, how we have put our community and our customers first. And really, our expectation is that these students also will adopt this initiative. And if each one will reach one, we hope that in taking over this initiative, in reusing the books, they will become great leaders. And we can spread this message to all and sundry. And by this, we hope that Nigeria will truly become the country that we all hope and desire.
I am here to represent our community senior secondary school, and I'm very glad within me for this book that people have given us, because a lot of students are not able to afford this type of books.
The books will help us a lot because a lot of students, a lot of pupils, they actually have to go to the library to borrow books. They have to borrow from their neighbors. Now that they have these textbooks, they'll have something to read. On behalf of Gwara Community Senior Secondary School, I'd like to say a very, very big thank you to First Bank. Thank you for their investment. Thank you for this textbook that they've given to us. We really appreciate it.
Ijoma sickness started when she was 5 months old. So I now took her to hospital. They find out that she has a big hole in her heart. My name is Obiageri Ogbonnaya, and my daughter is Ijoma Good Ogbonnaya. She's 5 years old. She likes playing around, jumping everywhere. Ijoma sickness started when she was 5 months old. She's not growing the way she's meant to grow. So I now start saying that, why is this girl not growing like others? So I now took her to hospital. They run a checkup, echo. They find out that she has a big hole in her heart. So they now said, madam, go and apply for medical reports that this child needs to fly out to India for surgery. I say God will intervene because I don't know where I can see that big amount, because in loot they told me that they will need about 5 to 6 million. When First Bank said that they will help me for the surgery money, I did not bring any cover. Since First Bank have helped me, that we've gone and come back, everything is better now. What she does not normally do before, she start doing it, playing, talking. She can even run. Before, when she runs, she will get tired, but now she can run perfectly and stand. I I just want to say a very big thank you for First Bank for saving the life of my daughter. If it is not First Bank, I don't know where I will take her to. I just want to say a big thank you, First Bank.
It helps us to boost our level of education, and we won't really have the feeling that we're not in school because we'll go through some things online.
And I'll make sure I ensure to use it only for the online lesson and what it is meant for.
It will really help us to improve in our educational stuff.
On behalf of the Lagos State students, I'm saying a very big thank you to all, and most especially the Managing Director and CEO of First Bank for the great investment in ensuring that we all engage in online lesson due to this pandemic.
So I want to thank the Managing Director of First Bank for believing in us, for taking out of a very, very well done and for showing the areas where you needed to do the same.
In 1894, our first branch opened in Lagos, Nigeria. And we took our place in this new land brimming with possibilities and surprises. Take Kano, for instance, where the city's wealthiest trader made his first deposit. 20 bags of silver arriving on camelback. Aren't you glad that we offer online banking today? Expanding across the West African sub-region and beyond, our early presence made it possible for all hardworking Africans to build great things. So is it any wonder that not one, but two First Bankers have gone on to become Nigeria's central banker? We are intricately woven into the fabric of society, supporting polo for over 100 years and pushing the limits of athletic performance. Rooted in tradition, but constantly leaning forward into the future. Are you coming?
You first, First Bank.
Brother Jumble, why you dey fumble? You no need to dey suffer to send money, oh. Carry phone, make you dial the number 894. Make you know the wait. 894. No need to dey stand for line. 894. It is safe and secure. 894 for me. 894 for you. 894 for there's a number that could change your whole world. 894. It no matter if you no get data. 894. Just pick your phone and dial the number 894 for me. 894 for you. 894. 894 for Niger.
Dial *894# to get started.
You first bank.